Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus,
Hooray.
and he's got a brand new face and a new name and an exciting car that talks to him. It's
Howard Knight! Hooray!
Thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thanks to all of our lovely patrons on Patreon for giving us money for this show.
Yummy!
And thanks to you for getting it for free.
Ooh, we like free stuff, don't we? We all like free stuff.
Everyone likes free stuff.
Can't begrudge them. We can't begrudge them.
Can't
be
do
doing
that.
That's all I wanted to say. You can't begrudge people. That's what I...
Hey,
yeah.
I'm not here to begrudge anyone, okay? That is not my main purpose today. I didn't get up this morning and think, you know what I'm going to do today? I am going to begrudge as many people as I can.
Going to go on a begrudging frenzy, that's what. It's not what I was thinking.
Okay, so this is episode 3 of The Last Olympian.
Ooh.
So, would you like to know what's happened so far in The Last Olympian, Howard?
I would love to know.
The answer is nothing.
Hooray!
Nothing has happened. We've met the main character,
Yeah.
Samael Fell,
Yeah.
who is living in Poor Town,
Yeah.
right? But he commutes to Rich Town every day to do his job, pipetting things.
Yeah.
His pipetting job in the pipette factory.
Yeah.
And we've met his good friend Ardy, who believes in working and all the benefits you can get from working. Because his philosophy in life, as we all know, is work a lot, work a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we left Samael, he was on the bus home talking to Ardy about working a lot and burking a lot. Right? So we're picking up the story with him arriving home.
Okay, brilliant.
Shall we get started, Howard?
Yes, please.
Cut 2. Exterior flat, dilapidated estate, night. Oh, he's probably going to have another piss out the window. The bus drops people off. Samael says his goodbye to Ardy and continues through the estate. Noise and a little light spill out from a building in the centre.
Ooh.
There's a pun coming up.
Oh, okay.
So because people can't see it, obviously this is a visual, this is a movie script. It says, as he nears, we can see a pub sign. And the name of the pub is the pun. So in the movie you would see it, so it wouldn't be a problem. But in order to set people up for it, I want them to remember that an old-fashioned word for a pub or bar is inn, I-N-N, right? Because the pub sign says the rather out than in. Rather out than in is something that really unpleasant men say, right? After farting, right? Or isn't it? I feel like it's usually better out. Rather, it seems like a posh version of it.
We've had this conversation before. Because
Have we?
Yeah.
Have we?
Because I think that I've used the rather out than in something else, but I don't know what.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's like one of those things in my head going, that's such a great idea, got to use that. And and I remember you saying before, isn't it better out than in? I don't know.
As he nears, we can see a pub sign hanging, the rather out than in. That seems quite unwelcoming. No, fuck off. The pub is called the Fuck Off.
Yeah.
We cut to interior, the rather out than in, brackets joke, night. Samael enters the pub. A haze of smoke and noise immediately attacks. It's a haze of smoke and noise. Maybe that's a band. That sounds like a band name, right? Actually, a haze of smoke and noise sounds like a fucking book title now, right? Because all books have to be called a something of something and something.
It does,
right?
yeah.
This is some fucking self-published book called A Haze of Smoke and Noise. That I try not to get annoyed with things, right? But that fucking title scheme bugs me because it's meaningless and tells you nothing. It's just a word of words and words, right? And they're always these kind of abstract words that give you nothing. It's not like a bowl of sausages and apples, which would at least tell me something. It's always a fucking it's a thought of smoke and whispers, or
Yes,
something really
I do
fucking
know
abstract.
what you mean. I do know.
There's a lot of them, and obviously I think it comes from the Game of Thrones books, right? That was the first that did it, or maybe that was what popularized it at least. I feel. But anyway, so Samael's book is called A Haze of Smoke and Noise, but the book attacks him. Samael enters the pub. A book attacks him. The no smoking signs right by the entrance have yellowed dramatically with age and smoke. Presumably jokes.
The no drinking signs have got all wet from drink.
The no stabbing signs have lots of knives sticking out of them.
Yeah.
This is an old man style pub. Like it's got a cane and it has grey hair.
Yeah.
This is an old man style pub. That is something we say in Britain, though. People call things like an old man pub, don't they? That's quite a common phrasing. It's a pub that is popular with old men, perhaps a bit sleepy, not exactly like when you're young. When you're young and you go into pubs, you do not want to go to an old man pub, or if you do, it's because you've coming down and you need somewhere quiet to be left alone.
Or because that's the only kind of pub there is because you live in Colville. It's just
Colville,
really stretching my imagination with my setting of Castle Rock High School's science chemistry class and a pub
and a
from
Coville
Cove Pub.
and the Forest Rock in
Yeah.
Coville. This is an old man style pub, but one that has fallen into further disrepute, further than having old men in it. Instead of windows, it is completely boarded up to prevent break-ins. It is dark, dingy, not had a paint job in 40 years. Oh man, I really need a paint job. The carpet is threadbare, no fruit machines, jukeboxes, pool, anything like that.
Oh, my list of things that aren't there. I love a good list of things that aren't there. So we know that everything else is. It's full of giraffes. Fucking there's like Hitler's there. Just like...
when this is interesting, isn't it, everybody? When Howard has to think of things, and the remit is anything except fruit machines, jukeboxes, pool. There's only three things it can't be. Literally anything else in the world would have been fine for that joke. I was like, giraffes. Hitler. Number one, Howard, think of two things. Giraffes and Hitler. All right, go home. Yeah. Go home, get therapy. It's a fascinating way of writing, isn't it? Where you go, all right, I've got to explain this. It's not even, and it's not like descriptive writing. This is communicating to a designer, presumably, to someone who's like dressing your sets. You're like, it's an old man pub, but there's no fruit machines, no shoes, no pool table, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is there? I don't know, chairs and old men.
Yeah.
A few old timers, however, are engaged in a game of darts. It doesn't say whether or not there's a dartboard.
Darts, okay, yeah. So more of my youth. It's bullseye. Jim Bowen is there.
And around the corner of the bar, a large group of people are stood, huddled, watching. Oh my God, this sentence. I'm going to take another run at this sentence. And around the corner of the bar, a large group of people are stood, huddled, watching a sturdy old telly set in a cage, which is playing the news. It's not clear if the telly set's in the cage or if they're in a cage watching it. The bar is covered and protected with a metal grill to stop people jumping over.
To cook their burgers on.
No, this is to stop jumping, because there's been an epidemic of jumping. They've probably got signs that say no jumping as well as no smoking, no drinking, and no dogs. Only a gap about 40 centimetres high spans all the way around the bar top. 40 centimetres is quite a lot.
It's quite a lot.
You could get through that no problem, right?
I could, yeah.
So only a gap about 40 centimetres high spans all the way round the bar top, allowing the passage of beverages.
Really tall beers. Like a tall beer?
I'd like a 45 centimetres tall beer, please. Don't do that. Can't have that, Trevor.
I'll have to turn it on its side to pass it to you. Oh no, the beer's got on the floor.
They do have bottles of spirits, but not as we do now. Labelled and hanging upside down. These stand on a shelf and Basically, they don't have optics. this is your amazing view of the dystopian future. Is that they don't have pub optics. Right?
Always have to stand the right way around in the future.
Yeah, and they're not labelled apparently either. All right, so essentially, I guess they're like homemade alcohol, so they're just putting it in whatever bottles they can get hold of.
Yeah.
These stand on a shelf and are in a wild array of whatever bottles were available, i.e., well, that should be e.g., an old bleach bottle
Oh.
now reads gin. There are also pumps for ale. It is busy and loud with chat. You got a lot of description of this pub in the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
It seemed like you were going to be quite quick about it, but then you described fucking everything.
Yeah, I've said it's loud twice now, haven't I?
While the pub contains a vast cross-section of race, Samael is once again clearly the whitest thing here. Not the whitest person, he is the whitest thing.
Yeah. That's because that's why I mentioned before that they don't have any pool tables, because otherwise the white ball would be whiter than he is. It's very important that he is the whitest thing.
They do not have milk.
Yeah,
They do not have. If you want a white Russian, you can't have it because the whitest thing here is Samael, and that white Russian might become the whitest thing.
That's why the gin's in a Domestos bottle, which is blue and red, instead of a Gordon's gin bottle, which has a white label on it.
Yeah, it said no labels. A lot of labels are white. Samael, he's so insistent on being the whitest thing there that one time he climbed through that massive gap to get behind the bar and just took all the labels off everything. He's like, now I'm the whitest thing.
Yeah.
Poured their milk down the drain.
He phones ahead, doesn't he, to check. I'm coming tonight.
What's this Wensleydale cheese you've got in your fridge? This is suspiciously white cheese.
Yeah.
Nosh.
That fridge as well. Can you get rid of that fridge, please?
As he heads for the bar, he is immediately set upon by an incredibly young whore playing her wares. I might change the wording here. As he heads for the bar, he is immediately set upon by an underage sex worker playing her wares.
What's she selling, like Tupperware or something?
No, she's a sex worker. She's selling...
Would you like a plastic tub, sir? I'm playing my wares.
Why do you think sex workers sell Tupperware?
She's playing her wares. It's because she's playing her wares. I don't know. To me, someone that plays their wares is trying to sell you a plastic tub.
Products.
Yeah.
Specifically Tupperware.
Yeah.
Anyway, the sex worker says, "Hey, Samael, fancy a blow?" An underage sex worker comes up to Samael and says, "Oh, sir, hey, Samael, fancy a blow?" And Samael says, "No, Anna." She replies, "Anna swallows.
Ew.
Just half a blue. You're too young, kid."
Hooray!
Every script you have ever written
What?
has the murder or abuse of children in it, right? Like every single one.
What's the murder or abuse here? He's not abusing her or murdering her. He's saying, I don't have sex with you
No, but
because you're 12.
society is. Yeah, no, it's great that I'm really happy that the main character is not going to sleep with a child prostitute. That's really good, right? But
That's the other
every
script that we're not
script-
doing. I've got that one. It's a good one.
Samael says, "You're too young, kid." And Anna says, "Oh, sir, some snort?" She's asking him to pay her in drugs.
In
right?
drugs,
Is that the conversation
yes,
we're having?
because
Yeah,
he's a
okay.
chemist.
Oh, right, okay. Samael says, "Sorry, I do it for rum."
Wow.
She's having a different conversation than him, isn't she? He's saying, "No, thank you,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
a child."
Yeah.
And she's going, you can pay in a different way if you want. "No, I don't want the product." This is like you're going to a shop and they're like, "Oh, hello, welcome to my shop. Do you want a big pile of sausages?" You're like, "No." You're like, "You can pay by Visa." Like, "Yeah, but I don't want it. You can pay by cash. Like, you can work for it if you want. You can come and work behind the counter for half an hour and you
Yeah.
can have a big pile of sausages." Like, "I don't want any sausages." Anna says, "I do it for rum," and Samael says, "Go sit with your friends." She skulks off. At the bar, the Barstool Brigade still exist.
Wow.
The Barstool Brigade.
They still exist. I don't know. Is that another band? Is that
The thing about the word brigade, right, is that if it's not the fire brigade, like you've got, like in this country we say fire brigade.
We do,
right?
we
That's
do.
a bunch of people who turn up to put out fires, and we're all happy to see them, right? The fire brigade, that's a good group of people. But almost every other use of the word brigade is someone complaining. It's usually the right wing complaining about not being allowed to say a racist word or something, right? It's like, oh, here come the political correctness brigade. It's always that. It's always that kind of attitude. So it's like what you're saying when you say the Barstool Brigade, right? It's like every time I try and go into my house, some like carpenters turn up and try and build a fucking bar stool there. Some kind of chair manufacturers start build like I just want normal chairs. Stop trying to force me to have bar stools. The Barstool Brigade.
Yeah, but you know, I didn't know that use of the word. The only use I know is the fire brigade. So to me, the Barstool Brigade are people that come and put your chairs out.
But as in an emergency.
Or if your chair's stuck up a tree, they'll come and like help it down.
So at the bar, some people who will help your chair get down from a tree still exist. I guess it says Samael finds a space. So I guess what you mean is the people who kind of occupy the bar stools.
Yeah.
Always.
I always say because
And also put out fires.
I guess at some point in my life I really hated people that sat at the bar because it's like this is
Yeah.
the place where you go to order the drinks. Can you go and fucking sit at a table, please?
See, you are using it that way. You're criticizing a group of people who
Yeah.
do something you don't want them to. It's a slight difference to the kind of people who turn up to tell you off because you're being a fucking sexist. But it still has that critical.
Yeah, they do that as well though. That's why I
Think
didn't
so.
like them sat at the bar telling me that I'm a sexist. It really annoyed me.
They're like, listen, mate, you know, she's a sex worker, not a prostitute or a whore. Could you be a bit more respectful, you sexist?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to buy a drink. All right, but when you're writing your script, choose your names of your female characters a bit more carefully, would you? Why is she called Anna Swallows? That's really sexist as well. Could you just sort out, that's your only female character so far in this script. That's not good. She's a child who comes up to a man and says, do you want a blowjob? My name's Anna Prostitute. Right? And that's it. And then she starts haggling for whether she's going to get drugs or rum. You're a big sexist, and you go like, oh fucking bar, stop going along, trying to make me enlighten my fucking sexual politics in my script. I'm only on page 8. Come on, give me a chance. Maybe it'll get better. So at the bar, the Barstool Brigade still exists. Samael finds a space, and a barman approaches. Doolish is a big fat bearded guy with a Scottish accent. Or Doctor Who, says Doolish. Kafensi was looking for you. Kafensi?
Bless you.
Samael digests this information as Doolish pours a healthy mug of whiskey. Mugs of whiskey are not healthy, strictly speaking.
Yeah, they're not.
Doolish then says, maybe you ought to watch your bahookie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So that's an interesting line. Maybe you ought to watch your bahookie.
I should not mention it before, but that's when we learned that Samael has a Wookiee with him.
Well, the next line is Samael saying, I can handle him. So that makes sense. Right? Hey, no bahookies in here. No, don't worry, I can...
I did not see the no Bahookie sign it. Saying, no.
I can handle him. What are they talking about, though? Because if there's not a Wookiee there, right? The weird thing about those two lines of dialogue,
Yeah.
right, is that they only make sense if there's a Wookiee there.
Yeah.
Right? If there isn't a Wookiee that somehow like is friend has a similar
Rufus,
like
we've
friend
already
relationship
explained
with
this.
Samael.
At no point in my script did I say that there's not a Wookiee there. So therefore, there is a Wookiee there.
You know, giraffe, Hitler,
Wookiees.
Wookiee. Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I think that the person that he needs to watch his Bahookie from is Kafensi. Because Kafensi isn't someone sneezing. Kafensi is a person. A Kafensi is looking for you. You better watch your Wookiee.
Bahookie.
You better watch the
So-
Wookiee. Because Kafensi wants to steal your Wookiee, so you better keep an eye on it.
No, actually, that's not even a question. I did this wrong. It's an exclamation mark. Kafenzi was looking for you, and then Samael says Kafenzi with an exclamation mark. And I think I read that as a question mark. So I'm going to do this. All right, so Kafenzi was looking for you. Kafenzi! That's what he does. Samael digests his information as Doolish pours a healthy mug of whiskey. Maybe you ought to watch your bahookie. I can handle him. That's what this is.
Brilliant. The thing is, when you say Kafenzi like that, like the way you just did it, that just makes it sound like you rolled 5-6s.
Like in this future world, that's just what they say when they roll 5-6s. Kafenzi! Yeah. And also, Doolish's line, maybe you ought to watch Bahookie, is actually a question. So I'm doing that wrong as well.
Ah.
So, okay, I'm going to do it again. Here we go. So, Kafenzi was looking for you. Kafenzi!
Yeah, very good.
And the next line is, maybe you ought to watch... That's right. Maybe you ought to watch your Bahookie. That's a question. Do you think maybe you should have a look? I mean, it's a nice Bahookie. Maybe you should look at your Bahookie. I can handle him. Doolish places the whiskey on the counter, and Samael says, and get me some rum, which is disturbing. Because the last line that Anna Swallows said was she does it for rum. Right?
Yeah, she does it for rum, yeah. And could I get a glass of blowjob as well, please? Thank you very much.
I got a bad feeling about this script. We're only on page 8, and I'm about to hit the third super offensive. While Doolish pours a mug of rum, Samael moves his hand to his drug belt, which has pockets all along it. Something like Batman's utility belt, but less gay. That's what you've written here. That's in your movie description. You know, like Batman's utility belt, but less gay.
Yeah, but in Batman's utility gay. Batman's utility. Batman's utility belt.
Yeah, okay. Now, I'll agree that Batman's utility gay is gay, all right? Because, you know, by definition. But, I mean, in what sense is Batman's utility belt gay? Does it have the numbers of all his boyfriends in it? Because that's the only way I can think it might be. Right?
Yeah.
This is where I keep my boyfriend's numbers.
I guess I was
Pretty gay belt. Pretty gay belt, Batman. Well done. Well done. And it's got a rainbow flag design on it. Very gay. Well done, Batman. Excellent gay belt. It's rainbow design. It's got all your boyfriend's numbers in it.
I was just thinking of Adam West.
And feeling gay. Basically what you're saying is when I look at Batman's utility belt, it makes me feel super gay. God damn you, Batman, and your gay belts. Why does it make me have these feelings I don't understand? So what you're saying is that when you look at Samael's belt, it doesn't make you confused in your penis.
Yeah.
He opens one of the pockets and removes a bag of tiny white pills from his pocket.
Wow, so he's walking around like loaded with drugs, and everyone knows he's the drug guy. That's pretty dangerous.
You got confused halfway through this sentence when you were writing this because firstly he's got a utility belt, right, like Batman's, but like without those men's numbers in it.
Yeah.
Right? He opens one of the pockets in his non-gay utility belt.
Yeah.
And removes a bag of tiny white pills from his pocket. So he doesn't take it out of the utility belt. He opens the utility belt and then takes a bag of pills out of his pocket and slides them across the bar. Samael heads around the bar, dropping off Anna's drink en route. And Anna says, "Oh, sir, thanks, Samael. Marry me." So she's just a comedy underage sex worker that you've just put in here.
Yeah.
He nears the darts board where an incredibly old man steps out in front of him and hands him a dart. And the old man says, "Treble 7. Samael tosses the dart and hits the treble 7. The old men applaud and laugh. Samael pats him on the back, that's the old man, I guess, and moves towards the crowd watching the news. Oh, he's going to that cage full of people. It is a European channel, and the picture is fuzzy and black and white. It's a European channel, but I've already used my European accent for Ardy, so I am going to do a newsreader who says, Ian Rex denying Britain has become a dictatorship. Ian Rex denying Britain has become a dictatorship. Ian Rex, yeah.
Brilliant.
Ian Rex denying Britain has become a dictatorship has finally agreed to comply to EU law and provide proof that the Mayan virus is still contagious.
What the fuck? Oh my god, this is so prescient. So, like, I knew we'd left the EU when I wrote this 10, 12 years ago. I knew about the virus.
That Mayan virus that we've all been suffering from for the last couple of years, yeah. A symposium to be held in 3 weeks will see EU officials present to ensure this matter is dealt with on a legitimate scale. I tell you what, I fucking hell. If news was written like this, newsreader would be a much more difficult job. All right, so Samael has gone to the pub. That's where he is at the moment. He's at the pub. He's gone in. He's managed to say no to a child sex worker.
Hero.
And now he's watching TV, standing in the corner watching the TV, when almost immediately there is a tap on his shoulder.
Wow, that's
he
weird.
turns.
Get some beer out of that. Classic joke.
Almost immediately there is a tap on his shoulder. He turns to find a hulking great black dude,
Wow.
a bodyguard called Megacles. Hello, it is me, Megacles. Yes, I am a massive hulking black dude.
Have you seen my clees? They are mega.
So big. Oh my god! Look at the size of my clees. All right, so Megacles, and I know it's pronounced like that because you've put in brackets. You've got like the how to pronounce it. You've had to put the pronunciation because it's kind of spelt Megacles. Megacles. So I might call him Megacles. So Megacles says, Mr. Coffensi wants you. The bodyguard guides him along all the way around the other side of the bar and through a door into another area. So he went round. It doesn't say he went through anything to get to the other side of the bar, right? So it's got this cage with a massive hole, but also like the sides of the bar are open. Like they only put it on the front, and then so people just walk around the back and get their drinks. Next scene: interior back bar night. It is darker here and quieter away from the main pub area. In the booths they pass, Samael sees men getting blown for booze.
That's what he's there for, isn't it? Kofense wants to see you. Here's your rum. Go suck him off.
Right at the end, Kofense has requisitioned a booth.
I've just realised that Kofense sounds like a sound effect on Batman. But it's like when you put up a fence. When Batman puts up a fence, he goes, Kofense.
Okay. Yeah. And you're talking about 60s TV Batman, right?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Because there's a lot of iterations of Batman.
Not modern Twilight Batman. Yeah.
Not the Batman.
Not the Batman.
A Batman.
A Batman.
A Batman. Megacles slams Samael in the booth beside Kofense.
He slams him. Is he a door? What's going on here? Did he just drink him?
Yeah, so Megacles like just downs Samael in one gulp. Now a second bodyguard is stood. In the darkness of the booth, the whites of Kofense's eyes hang like paper hole reinforcers.
Good.
I mean, that's weird because that suggests like his eyelids are round as well, right? Because the whites of your eyes aren't round. That's the iris, right? That's the like if you got a paper hole reinforcer and then coloured it in, then you might be able to. The irises of his eyes look like a paper hole reinforcer that someone has coloured in with all eye colours, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I don't know if that works as a metaphor.
I mean, this whole script is about like a lot of it's got to do with eyes. So I guess I'm like trying to put a bit of a literature into my directions.
Well,
where it's unnecessary.
decided to go for some poetic metaphor.
Yeah,
there.
poetic metaphor of paper hole reinforcers.
Yeah.
What are they?
I didn't say
what,
you chose wisely.
What are they? Most people are listening to this going, "What the hell is that? What are they?" You know, back in the
Do
day,
people still use them?
we used to punch holes in paper in order to put them into folders.
Ring binder.
Yeah, into a ring binder.
Yeah, so it's a tiny paper white O, basically, that is about, I'd say probably is about the size of an iris, but not the white of your eye. It's like you forgot which part of the eye was which, right?
I should have gone with like polos, shouldn't I?
You shouldn't have gone with either of those things, because it's like, I think it's, when you're choosing a metaphor, it's important to choose carefully. You can't just think, what do they look like? And they look like polos. You've got to think about what your choice implies as well. You know, it's like his eyes look like polo. Like, why do you want me to be thinking about mints at this point? I hope there's a thematic link here somewhere. Why do you want me to be thinking about paper hole reinforcers that we used to use at middle school? So in the darkness of the booth, the whites of Kofensi's eyes hang like paper hole reinforcers. Brilliant. He leans forward to reveal his face.
Ooh.
It's one of those film things, isn't it? It's like when someone's sitting back in the shadow and you can't see them at all because the difference between the shadow and the light, which is right next to it, is so defined that that no light spills out from the triangle coming from the lamp, basically. Yeah. He is a clean shaven, including the beard.
What?
All right, that doesn't say beard. I'm reading that wrong. I got that wrong. I was so distracted by he is a clean shaven, and then there's no noun after it that I read it wrong. He is a clean. That would have been quite funny, right? He is clean shaven, including the beard.
His beard is very clean shaven.
No, it actually says he is a clean shaven, including the head.
To make it any. Oh, I see. Okay, he is clean shaven, including the head.
It's still funny, but he's clean shaven on his face and his head. Basically, he's got no hair above his neck.
Yeah,
he is a clean shaven. He is attractive, but for a large, ugly scar running down his right cheek.
Ooh.
Is it the size of an angler's catch, though? That's what I want to know. Samael, I need you. Samael reaches for his drug belt. Sure you do. What do you need? I can give you C, B,
what?
A. This is not an episode of Sesame Street, Samael. Give me the fucking drugs.
Street names for drugs in the future are a bit boring, aren't they?
Would you like some B? Well, I guess what you've done is you've heard of the drug called E and extrapolated.
That's the only one I'd heard of, yeah. There must have got to be 4 before that, right?
And Kofensi says, no, we need you.
Ooh.
Samael says, question mark. It says his name and then there's a question mark, all right? That's what it says. So I've got question mark. Kofensi says, the Freedom Party.
Ooh.
The Freedom Party needs Samael.
That's a good name for a party that's looking for freedom, I would say.
And yet a common name for a party that isn't. How wonderfully and playfully ironic fascists can be. Naming their parties. Oh, we're going to call ourselves Socialists and Freedom Party. Isn't it fun? And then we're going to murder everyone and put them in prison.
Yeah, but everybody knows that the Freedom Party, freedom is obviously an acronym for fascists, really...
Really awful. Evil, yeah, that's better
doing
than awful.
Horrible murders.
Hang on, you missed an E then. That's Fred.
Yeah, because fascists can't spell.
Party.
But also you get a free Freddo when you join, and that's why.
And you're only allowed to join if your name's Fred.
Yeah.
I mean, fascists get worse, don't they? They're very exclusionist, you know. We're so fascist, we're only taking people with one particular name, and it's Fred. Okay.
That's what caused that massive rift between the Weasley twins, of course, isn't it?
What's that?
Yeah, one of them's called
One
Fred,
of them
right?
joining the Freedom Party. Oh, because yes, one of them was called Fred. Okay, I was like, I don't remember one of them becoming a fascist. I can believe it, but I don't remember it actually happening.
That's what they act like he's dead at the end, but actually he just went and joined Voldemort.
Yeah,
he's like
they
dead
act like
to
he's
us.
dead, but actually he's a fascist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they are pretty terrible characters.
Yeah.
They do, like, they torture children to test their products. They make, they are military contractors. In one of the books, they're, like, making armor for the police
They
or
set
whatever.
off explosives quite frequently.
Yes, and they make magical roofies and sell them to children.
Yeah.
They're really terrifying characters. So the idea that one of them became a fascist and the family were like, all right, it was fine when you were arming the police, but now you've called yourself a fascist. This is too much, okay? Now you've joined the Freddo party. Just because your name's Fred doesn't mean you have to join the Fred. Hang on, Freddos are chocolate frogs, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That's a link to Harry
It
Potter.
really
as
is,
well.
isn't it? Yeah.
All right, so the next thing that happens after Kafensi says, "We need you for the Freedom Party." Fred's in, but we've refused George. We said no to George. Samael gives a derisive snort. So, give me a second. Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
Does that sound derisive enough?
I don't know. He's a drug dealer, so it might mean that he, like, derisively snorts some C.
Yeah, all right. So Samael, that's
Yeah,
my
very good.
snorting mime. Pretty good, eh?
That is what he would do.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like when you snort sea, though. It's quite different. Because the sea is a big body of water,
Yeah, he's-
and it's really difficult to get it all up.
yeah,
your nose.
all of it. Yeah.
It's really quick, so we don't have to spend like 10 years watching this scene while Samael tries to snort the sea. So Snamael snorts the sea, right? And then he says, right. I guess he's like saying no, right?
Yeah, 'cause he's not a
Samael knows his
fascist.
name's not Fred. He's not called Fred, and they're not going to accept him in the end anyway. Samael downs his whiskey as though to leave. Kafensi says, "Samael, please." Samael looks at Kafensi. Kafensi says, "Please." I don't know what the dynamic is here.
I don't know
because it
either. I
felt
thought that like this guy was going to be like a real bad guy, right?
Yeah,
but he's like,
got his
please,
bodyguards
please
to-
come and join the Freedom Party and help us stop
Right.
people being slaves. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do some drugs and give wine to underage people over here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe we've got it all wrong. Because when I see the Freedom Party, I'm very suspicious and think they're fascist. But maybe they're actually the good guys, and Samael is the bad guy, right? And Samael's like, "No, I am a drug dealer who gives alcohol to children. I'm
mean-
not joining your party trying to free people."
I don't want to be like a racist or anything, but he is the white man in the room, right? So I mean,
That tracks.
It's a
I don't
bit
think that's
suspicious,
racist.
isn't it?
That's historically accurate. Yeah,
It's like,
there's
no,
the one
I'm not-
white guy here.
I'm not interested in freedom. I'm white.
I'm the one stopping you from being free. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, because it was weird but he got his bodyguards to drag Samael in and slam him down.
Yeah.
And then Kafensi's all like, "Oh, won't you join my freedom party? Please be in my gang. Oh, go on.
Yeah.
We really want you." I don't know why he's Irish now, but
He is.
but he is. All right. Oh, go on. Go on. Join the Freedom Party. Go on, join me, Freedom Party, please. Oh, please.
You get a free packet of nerds when you join. And they've drawn a certificate that they'll give you.
Oh, it's brilliant. I'm making badges. There's a pause. Samael stays. Kafensi signals to his bodyguards. They move off and watch from a distance. So Kafensi says, "In little under 3 weeks," probably should say a little, "in a little under 3 weeks, the symposium will be held. Rex," that's Ian Rex, "will deliver a report from the biotech scientists. Based on that report, a decision will be made." This is a boring speech. I don't know what's going on here. "Whether it's safe to let us back into society."
Oh.
So these people are because there was something about North and South London, right?
No, I think that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying at this earlier. I think what it is that like the UK has left the EU and they've said that like we've got the plague here, so we can't be in the EU.
Oh, okay.
So now,
Oh, right, yes.
now the EU is not there to protect us. Now the leaders can just increase the poverty gap to an extent that like people have to piss out of windows now.
So this is an anti-Brexit parable.
I guess,
that you wrote
yeah.
in 2007 or something. So it's saying that if we leave the European Union our leaders will be able to screw us a lot harder and destroy human rights. And hey, lucky that never happened. So based on that report, a decision will be made whether it's safe to let us back into society. And by society, I mean European Union society, and not just be a little island on our own, all getting murdered and pissing out of the window. I know the next line. Out of piss, fleas and death, and back into electrics, caviar and carpets. Now that's an interesting line.
Those are the three things I miss most about civilization.
Just off the top of my head. Okay, electrics. Obviously, I love electrics. Me. Caviar. Oh, I do miss me fish eggs for dinner. I did used to like a bit of caviar for me dinner until we left the EU, and now I can't afford it anymore. But number 3, let's not forget carpets. I tell you what, the worst thing that happened when we left the EU and they took all our carpets. Right? Yeah. When France came over and took all our carpets, repossessed all our carpets. Oh, that was bad. And replaced it with piss, fleas, and death.
Because when the bailiffs came round, they took the carpets. It's like, what's going on here?
Samael says, I follow the news, I know, and I hope for all our sakes the virus is dead. Then Kafensi shouts, it's in capital letters. So Kafensi says, don't be a dick fuck, Samael. Don't be a dick fuck, Samael. Stop being a dick fuck, okay? Don't come into my bar and start being a dick fucker. If you come in here and be a dick fuck one more time, you're barred. I'm sorry I was a dick.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat down to every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you'd like more, then go to patreon.com.
They're not going to come and sign up and give us any money, so you might as well just say schlippity-doob-dop.com.
They don't have to. They don't have to give us money because there's free stuff on Patreon as well. You can go and get the free stuff at patreon.com/manbycow. There's a bunch of free episodes that you can try out without any commitment. You don't have to put any details in. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can just download them immediately.
Wow.
And while you're there, you can look at what is on offer if you do want to sign up for as little as $2 a month. And you're probably going to be surprised at just what an enormous amount of stuff it is. So why not sign up for $2? And that'll, I mean, to tell you what, there's enough stuff at $2 to keep you going for a month anyway. And then if you like it, you can think next month, you know what, I want more. I'm going to sign up for $7. And then you're set for about 6 months just with the back catalogue, right? And then you get to the end of that, you're like, you know what? I might upgrade to $12. And then it's essentially the rest of your life.
Yes.
Because there's so much audio entertainment there. We've been uploading constantly since 2016. Like, we're uploading right now. And I say constantly, I mean it. We're doing it right now. So thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, milk.
Bye-bye, man.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.